Hey, what's up guys? Joshua Noel here from sunduck.net, bringing you I guess a fairly decent tutorial on Photoshop. So recently I just bought the Blackmagic Cinema camera, and I wanted to show that on my website so my clients can see what type of hardware that I'm working with. So as you can see, I have a PNG of the Blackmagic Cinema camera on my website, so it blends in with my background and it also has a shadow. I'll be showing you how to remove a background from an image and create the shadow. So let's jump right into Photoshop and I'll show you how I did that. So here we are in Photoshop, and as you can see, we have a white background and we have a few shadows at the bottom. And it's like, hey, that works out fine. Well, not really, because I wanted to blend with my background. So the most common way to delete a background in Photoshop would be to take the magic wand tool, click, and delete. But the problem with that is it doesn't always work out to perfection at first, because if you see, the edges are very fuzzy and they're just not good looking. Now, of course, you could go to refine edge and you can fix all that up, but for the sake of this tutorial, I want to show you guys how you can cut out an object from a picture, so you can use this in other scenarios, like if you have a very contrasty picture with tons of other objects combined, like a normal picture you took, you could actually just cut out an object really easy. So I'll be showing you how to do that. Let's get right to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the pen tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a point underneath the camera. So you really want to mask out your object. That's what we're going to be doing. So I have one point there. And I'm just going to go ahead and select another point, and I'm going to drag the vertices out so I can have a curve around the bottom of my camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing that, and to delete to move the vertice back into the keyframe, just alt click the keyframe and that vertice will go back in so we can make a clean mask. And just drag the handles and we're good. Okay, so if you hold down spacebar, you can actually use the hand tool to move around. And I'm going to alt click this keyframe or this pen tool. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to speed this up so we're all good. Okay, so once you're done masking around your object, click on Paths, right-click Work Path, Make Selection, and make sure feather radius is at 0, and click OK. And then once that's done, you can just click or hit Delete on your keyboard, and that will remove the background. And then go back to Layers, and to remove the selection, just hit Command D on your keyboard, and that will remove the selection. Now that we removed the background, now the next step is to create shadows underneath the camera, like so right here. And we can do that by clicking the paintbrush, and make sure you go up to your palette up here, and make sure you can click any brush. I go ahead and click the soft brush here, and I'll change the size up to 170. And you want to create a new layer, and this will be the shadow layer. Alright, and now make sure your color is set to black. Another thing, I like to start out with my opacity at 100% and the flow at 36, so that it won't come on full black pixels. It'll allow me to move back and forth to create more of a shade rather than just straight up painting black on. So make sure the shadow layer is underneath the camera layer. And now just start painting your shadow in, going back and forth, because we want to make sure that right underneath the camera is completely dark. So I'm going to keep going back and forth until those pixels are nice and dark. And then I'm going to just paint in and out. And then once I'm happy with the initial dark shadow, I'm going to go up here to opacity and lower it to, say, maybe 60. And then I'm going to start painting a little bit forward so we can create a little bit of a shade. Actually, I would want this to be a little bit dark, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use the bracket keys to make the brush smaller. Make that nice and dark. Okay. And that seems about good. It takes some time to make a shadow perfect. I'm not really great at making shadows. So it's just really about just taking your time and creating a good shadow. And that looks about good. So I'm going to go ahead and check that out real fast. I'm going to make a new layer and put that underneath the shadow layer. Go to, see, make this a light gray, and I'll fill in the background. Okay, so that's not great. So one technique you could do instead of redoing everything is you can grab the shadow layer and you can actually bring it up. And you can bring it up behind your camera so you don't have to have all the dark, you don't have to have so many dark pixels and where the shadow shouldn't be to make it realistic. And that looks okay. That actually does look pretty good. I think that will work. So anyway, I will hide the layer, my background layer, and I'm going to go ahead and export this photo as a PNG. So I'm going to go to File, Save for Web and Devices, and make sure it's set to PNG 24. The only difference between 8 and 24 is that 24 is a little bit of a higher quality. So go with that. And just click Save. Save it wherever, and you're done. I hope you've learned a few things today. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you. Please subscribe for more tutorials coming in the near future. And I'm Joshua Noel from Sunduck.net. Thanks for watching.